How are you guys? I hope you're doing pretty well. I'm getting ready for spooky time. Um, so let's see what's going on with my little fire, guys. See what the world has brought to your table. Alright. So, current energy for my Leos, my little lions. Okay. Fall into my arms. Surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. So, wait just a second. Alright. Yeah, so usually this card comes out during love readings, right? Kind of surrendering to your feelings, surrendering to what's going on the inside, right? So let's see. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life, right? Both of these are energy of surrender, right? First and foremost, I would say surrender to your outcomes, surrender to the gifts. I know y'all are a stubborn bunch, so it's not just that simple to just surrender for you, right? So let's see what you're surrendering to. I feel this energy of, like, maybe you've been kind of, like, micromanaging the way that life has been going, like, kind of like, it's my way or the highway. And I feel like you're being called to kind of, like, soften to unexpected events, right, or unexpected outcomes. So, let's see it. Like I say, we've got Two of Cups in reverse, Three of Swords in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse. This is very, closed off energy, right? Two of Cups in reverse. You may have experienced love or some facet of love, right? The Three of Swords in reverse, I feel this energy of you've been healing, from that experience. And with the Page of Cups in reverse, you might be looking, but without a prospect in mind, or, you might be just open to the experience. Or you might be closed off with the Page of Cups in reverse. You could be also, that could be you, not really looking. So it's kind of like that energy of, like, self-preservation. That's what I'm hearing, like, self-preservation doesn't get your Ten of Cups. Okay, like, sometimes we gotta take risks. Yeah. With the Ten of Cups showing up, and then the Empress in reverse, I do feel like it is inevitable for you to have, like, this emotional abundance, to have this connection. With the Empress in reverse, though, it's like I feel like your creativity is being blocked, or you might be experiencing blockages in, like, like writer's block, musician's block, painter's block, like feeling uninspired, right? Sometimes we need kind of an emotional experience to open up that floodgate, right? To open up that creativity inside of us. You might be kind of shutting down your own divine feminine aspects too. And I feel like you're being called to tap into that, right? Whether you're male, female, masculine, feminine, that doesn't matter. The divine feminine is within all of us, right? Same with the divine masculine. And what I'm really seeing here is that, like, you need an openness to experience, right? Otherwise, you're gonna have these blockages. Alright, our best creations come from moments of feeling the most, right? And if you're shutting down your feelings or your emotions, like, you're not really going to be feeling that creative, right? We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Feeling like you haven't been super fortunate in that area. Feeling blocked up. I'm blocked up. Can't get me out. Right? It's like, oh man. Alright, so what's your advice from Spirit? I feel like, you've had negative experiences, or, like there's, you may have faced rejection, Page of Cups in reverse. You may have, felt like it's just unattainable what you want or what you, desire underneath it all. We've got the Lovers coming out, right? The Hierophant in reverse. Ten of Wands in reverse. You don't know what the hell you want. Eight of Swords. Four of Cups in reverse. Eight of Wands in reverse. The Lovers, Gemini energy, right? It's like saying that there's a potential for this, like if you are wanting union, but I feel like you don't want that fake shit. You don't want that artificial skin deep shit. You want something real and authentic, right? You're a fixed sign, so you're kind of a traditionalist in that sense, that you want something that feels like that old-timey love, right? But preferably without all the patriarchal gender role bullshit. The Hierophant in reverse tells me that you might not be listening to Spirit in regards to a situation, or you might, like, shut it down, calling it ego when messages are trying to come through from Spirit. Ten of Wands in reverse tells me, like, you need to let go of the emotional burdens and chains that you put yourself in, right? Because a lot of the time, we sit there and we chalk it up as ego, right? Like, oh, I want to be loved. That must be ego. Oh, I want this. That must be ego. Da-da-da-da-da. It must be ego. And I hate that. Because then you're kind of scapegoating your ego a little bit and kind of denying yourself for the sake of, oh, I don't want to be in my ego. Well, that's a whole ego trip in its own, right? For one. For two, your ego exists for a reason, right? And you should integrate it, Carl Jung style, right? Like, that's not saying sit in your ego, but sometimes it's okay to listen to your ego, right? Listen to what it's trying to tell you. Because with the Eight of Swords, I'm saying that there's something that you're not seeing, or and that's kind of a self-imposed prison, the Eight of Swords. It's like not wanting to see, not being open, just kind of this closed off, like, Eight of Wands in reverse tells me that this is why things haven't been progressing, right? Because it's like you're ignoring Spirit, chalking it up as an ego trip. And let me tell you what, like, love, right? I'm gonna tell you like Isolde told Tristan and Tristan and Isolde. And if you haven't like heard the story or watched the movie, you should. But Tristan, or not Tristan, Isolde told Tristan, she's like, love is a gift from God, right? And to deny love, is to deny God, right? And whatever your perspective is on God is your own perspective. That's your thing. But, love is the very essence of all that we collectively see as God, right? Everybody who believes in the universe, the source, whatever, they see it as love, right? Some people have some skewed, fucked up version of that, but for the most part, we view God as love, right? And every holy text ever, it's just love, right? We say God is love. God is the energy of love, right? And I feel like the thing that's ego is anything outside of that, anything outside of authentic love. With the Four of Cups in reverse, I do see you kind of opening up to possibilities, potentialities, becoming more receptive. And that's where the Lovers card comes into play, because I feel like, you see Archangel Raphael guiding this union, right? And I see the mountains in the background, right? Representing all that you had to overcome to get there, right? Sometimes you have to go through the karmic shit to get to the real shit. And that's life, right? But really, it's your ego trying to protect you, right? Really, it's your ego that shuts this down out of a self-preservation. It's like, we're safer if we don't. We're safer if we don't allow ourselves any kind of vulnerability. And yeah, you might be safer, right? But like, you also might be safer if you just sit inside your room and never go anywhere or do anything, right? But is that quality of life? Are you really open to the experience? And I feel like you kind of need to surrender to that a bit. I know, y'all, those of you who know me are like, this Aquarius motherfucker telling me. I know, I'm telling you because I fucking know. I am you in a lot of ways. Okay. We have the King of Wands, the King of Fire, right? This is facing, owning up to your truth. This is letting go of the ego to really listen to your authentic truth that's boiling up inside, right? There's a truth ready to come out. With the Hermit in reverse, this is you needing to break out of your shell. This is Virgo energy, right? You might be on the cusp. But this is really indicative of you needing to break out of your shell and do something different, right? Open yourself up to a new experience. With the Star in reverse, Aquarius energy. It's like struggling to see the light in the darkness. Oftentimes, you know what a star sees when it looks out into the blackness of the night? They see the blackness, they see the darkness, right? Until they see another star, right? But the star itself is the source of light. Therefore, it's not going to see the light. And I feel that energy here where it's like you, King of Wands, you're the fire, you're the source of light here, but you're struggling to see light, like you're seeking out a light, but you are the light, right? The star is hope and faith, right, too, and I feel like you've been disheartened or kind of feeling like closed off, or maybe when you do open yourself up to experiences, you meet people who are all up in their ego and all like, but like, how are you approaching this? Are you going on Tinder where it's like an ego fest, or are you like actually like putting yourself out there and going and socializing and, like being open to serendipity? Because that's how I feel real love happens, With the world in reverse, usually this is about like, I feel like there's a fear of like starting a new cycle, a fear of the unknown, right? Or fear of the known because of what you've already experienced. But not every experience is going to be your ex, right? Not every experience is going to be disappointing. There's data, right? Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I feel like you could have faced rejection or, invested your feelings into somebody that didn't feel shit for you, right? That's kind of rough. Dust yourself off and try again, Alright, so let's go back to the Lover's card. I want to drop some clarifiers on why this is showing up and what it means for you. So let's clarify the Lovers. The Moon. Pisces energy is showing up. You've got a lot of major arcana. I feel like this is a legit, this is something you need to go through for your own spiritual growth. With the Moon here showing up, this is like illumination, right? Illuminating a truth. Illuminating some facts that are going on under the surface, right? Or seeing a situation for what it is, and facing the truth in that. With the King of Wands, it's a King of Truth, right? And right now, I think you need to invest in that. So what are you seeing in regards to the Moon? Got the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Cups, right? So I'm seeing this Queen of Swords is, you could be dealing with an Aquarius, right? That would make sense. Aquarius and Leos are very like, dun dun dun, right? Y'all speak the same love language. Honestly, I've yet to meet an Aquarius that hasn't had a crush or an obsession on a Leo, and vice versa. It's the nature of the thing. Your polarity, right? And that's attractive. But yeah, this also could be Libra, Gemini. Gemini being the Lover's card showing up. With the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Cups. It's like maybe you feel like the person that you're interested in is unattainable, and maybe they're kind of at the forefront of your mind, right? You're not really open to other connections. With the Fool, it's telling you to kind of take a leap of faith here and go into the unknown and try something new or different, Six of Swords in reverse. Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Swords. Should I stay or should I go? Alright, Six of Swords in reverse is like, with the Nine of Swords, I think that you're afraid that they'll walk away or leave you, abandon you, right? And it's almost better to not have something than to have it and lose it, right? But I'm pretty sure this saying goes, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So, experience it. Alright, you live to experience, alright? What are you gonna lose? What's the worst case scenario? You get a no? Right? Move on. Find somebody else, like it's not really that detrimental to you. Right? You're all up in your head about it. All up in your fucking head. And it's really not that detrimental. It's not that big of a deal. You need to not make it too big of a deal. The Nine of Pentacles is like, if you're a good egg, you're gonna have good results, right? And if you're coming from a place of like good intentions and pure heart, you're gonna reap the results of that, right? You're gonna attract somebody who's also pure of heart, who wants to go the full distance with you, who meets you halfway. And that matches your criteria, right? You gotta surrender, right? You gotta surrender your fears, your doubts, and your insecurities. More than anything, I would say. Five of Cups is going sideways, right? Usually I will flip it based on which direction it's leaning more towards, if it's up or, whatever. But this was very sideways. There's not really a way for me to determine. And that's your fear of disappointment, a fear of wasting your emotions, of wasting your time, You're already doing that. You're already disappointing yourself. You're already wasting your time. You're already wasting your emotions if you're in this mindset. If you're in that self-preservation mindset, right? And this is the Aquarius in me talking when I'm like, you gotta take some fucking risks, man. You can't be so, like, set on self-preservation that you're just too afraid to do anything, right? I've seen people live in fear, and it's just that it doesn't serve anything. It doesn't, like, give you any, like, quality of life, right? Even if you take some risks, you're still better off than never having taken that risk, right? Like, it's like cliff jumping, Like, sure, if you're a cliff jumper, there's a chance you could hit the rocks, you can die, you could hurt yourself, terrible things could happen, right? But a cliff jumper finds the thrill in that, right? In the risk factor. The cliff jumper finds the exhilaration in leaping, off of that cliff and into the unknown, into the water, right? And this is where we go back to the Fool card, where it's like, sometimes you just gotta do it. You can't overthink it, because if you hesitate for even a second, that's where you fuck up, right? In your hesitation, that's where you fall into the rocks. The cool thing about this is, say you open your heart, say you decide to date somebody, it's disappointing and it doesn't work out. Well, at least you fucking tried, right? For one. And for two, like, what did you lose in the process? Nothing. What did you gain? Experience, right? And more discernment. So, this fear of disappointment, you're just teetering on that, right? And it's like, dude, why? Why? I've been disappointed so many times, but I didn't lose anything for it, you know? Like, if it doesn't work, just walk away. You ain't gotta over sweat it. Just it is what it is. That's the whole point of dating, is seeing if that's what you want, right? Courting people. See, um, don't throw all your eggs in one basket immediately, right? Seven of Pentacles right here. Look at your options. Look at the potentialities, right? Be open. Be curious. Alright? Be curious about connections. If you feel a connection or a spark with somebody, be curious. Explore that. See where it leads you. The Tower in reverse. Yeah, you've experienced a tower. Probably had to rebuild everything from it, right? But it didn't kill you. You just got some experience, And that's the thing about attachment too, is try to be not attached, right? And I know that's hard in matters of love to not have an attachment, right? But understand that anybody that you entertain, you don't own them, right? They don't belong to you like that. They choose you, right? And if they choose you, then honor that connection, honor, that decision. And if they don't let that tear you up or destroy you inside because, God forbid, it didn't turn out how you thought it would. That's, living is learning, right? And with the Lover's card, Major Arcana, Gemini energy, right? Gemini is represented by the twins. Major Arcana, like, this is a twin flame thing, right? This is like a soul connection. Soul connections, they're hard, right? They're rough, right? And, but not in a bad way. They're hard in a good way. They're hard in they make you think. They make you learn. They make you kind of veer into the unknown a bit. And those are the ones that matter, right? Those are the ones that stick. But the Two of Cups in reverse, it's like anything you've experienced before was karmic, right? All the rejection that you may have experienced, all the hurt that you may have experienced, that was karmic. And I feel like you've done so much work on yourself, and opening up to love means, knowing the red flags. Pay attention to the red flags. If your spirit even tells you for a second, like, this ain't right, listen. Listen, Linda. Pay attention. Emperor's in reverse. Having the Emperor and the Empress in reverse, it's like divine counterparts, right? That are both so fucking stubborn. In the ego, right? So stubborn that, like, both are, struggling to reach this. Maybe, with the Page of Swords in reverse and the Ten of Swords in reverse, maybe you know who your counterpart is. Maybe it's been off to a rocky thing. This has a lot to do with that stubborn energy, right? With the Ten of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Alright, we got 10-10 on the board. Endings, new beginnings. The Ten of Pentacles is like saying, like, it's like time to start reaping the rewards, like understanding all that love that you give to yourself, like that is what will be projected into the third dimension. So if you were not in the energy of self-love, if you were in the energy of insecurity, fear, and doubt in the past, then you manifested a relationship based on that. But if you're coming from a place of like serious self-love and growth and development, you're going to attract that. Ace of Wands, passionate new beginning. I feel this runner chaser energy, right? Page of Cups in reverse, Knight of Cups. You know, Page of Swords in reverse, Emperor in reverse, Empress in reverse, Five of Cups sideways, Two of Cups in reverse, Lovers in the upright, right? Like the energy that I'm seeing here is this very back and forth. Very back and forth. It's like, I want it, I don't want it. I want it, I don't want it. I want it, but I don't want it. You know, you need to be very decisive on what you want, right? And maybe them too, right? Because with your divine counterpart, right, they're as sure as you are. That's what you got to know. They're as sure as you are. So if you're not sure, they're going to match that energy of also being unsure of you. You know, that's how it works. Y'all are always going to be on the same frequency. Whereas other people, they'll always kind of fluctuate on their own frequency, doing their own shit. And that's how you outgrow each other, outgrow connections. But with the twin flame, it's like you're constantly vibrating on the same, and they'll, like, energetically match each other, right? So if you're like, we vibing high, they're like, we vibing high. You know, it's like, if you're in the, we're resisting, I'm resisting too. You know, it's like, because any doubt or fear or insecurity is transferred energetically from one to the other, right? It's like one soul. So once one soul makes up its mind, the whole soul makes up its mind. You know, it's hard to explain, but you catch my drift. And I feel that. They will match you. Alright, so oh, you have 10, 10, 10, right? That's 10 to the power of 3, mind, body, spirit. You're going through a full transitional stage, really making a big move energetically. The Sun card, right? There's no reverse meaning for it, but it did show up in the reverse. But this is your card, right? Leo energy. This talks about inevitable happiness, abundance, fulfillment, right? Three of Pentacles in reverse. You are very independent, right, in nature. So I feel like you're just not going to entertain people who have any kind of codependency, right? You don't want somebody to rely too heavily on you. You're like, bro, it ain't about all that. It's about the connection, which is great. It shouldn't be about heavily relying too much on one another. The Justice card, right? Libra energy. You've got all the air signs now. Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. The Justice tells me that things will be fair, right? Things will be brought to justice. The balance will be made here. The Death card, Scorpio energy. This is telling me that something's coming to an end, and I feel like it's your mindset, right? I feel like it's this cycle of cycling, right? You're just kind of over the same old ruminating thoughts, the same old, you know, whatever. And it's like, you'll never know if you don't take a chance. So I recommend taking a chance, figuring it out, fuck around, find out, right? If you don't fuck around at all, you'll never find out at all. You know? I'm not saying like fuck around like a fuck boy, you know, or a girl. I'm saying like, you know, just like explore, experiment with life, see what doors of opportunity open up to you. Be curious. Such a damn fixed sign you're scared to take any risks. Why? They're just people. No need to fear. Remember how powerful you are, right? Like I said, that really ties into this. No need to fear. You're afraid for no reason, right? A moment's regret, right? This is all about nostalgia, idealizing the past and fearing you've made mistakes or whatever. And maybe, that could be part of it, right? You could be just romanticizing your past a little bit too much. Don't regret the past, right? That's all said and done. It doesn't exist anymore. All you can do is move forward. And if you just sit there dwelling on the past, you'll never be in that futuristic energy to bring something new into your life. You're just going to keep reliving old cycles and old shit with new people, right? I wonder what will happen next. Ready for adventure, precipice of change. Take a pause before taking action. Really, really fully, taking some introspection. Take accountability for all your thoughts and feelings, honest accountability. Becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective, right? This is that bravery that you need to kind of try something new, step out of your element of comfort, right? One of my good friends, she told me once, and it stuck with me, your life begins where your comfort zone ends, right? So live that, get out of your comfort zone. That's where life starts, right? If you're stuck in your comfort zone and you never take risks and you never want to experience anything outside of that, and guess what? Life is going to be stagnant, complacent, boring, right? And then you will have existed for what? To be safe? That's awful. Follow your own good advice. Trust yourself and know what is best for you, right? This is all about trusting your intuition. When you're out here giving people advice on their shit, take it. Practice what you preach, right? I also feel like that's kind of partly for me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, because it's follow your own good advice. And yes, I can relate to you more than you realize on that aspect of not wanting to be open to connection and not wanting to be disappointed again and not want to. I get that. I can relate a lot. So I get that. We gotta follow our own good advice. So let's see what else the cards have to say. Mahavidya. No matter how logical an approach may be or how sensible it may seem, there are times when the heart nudges us toward a different way. Have the courage to be moved by your heart along untried paths that resonate, whatever the logical mind has to say about them. You are outgrowing a problem and birthing a superior outcome. Kalika Tantrika. Kali overcomes karma, realigns us with our path when we have veered off course, reverses the momentum of negativity, and detaches draining energy cords, restoring us to full vitality. It may seem like your will is being thwarted or you're not getting what you want, but the goddess knows what she's doing. Her actions will benefit you. Trust. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Namaste. I love you guys, and I will catch you later.